keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come on here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, it's the Houston Rockets as they'll be playing against the Boston Celtics. Well, for Boston, another really high-quality season being played by a team that we've come to expect nothing less from. There they are, top spot in the East. And for the Celtics, how about their head coach, Brad Stevens? He's a youthful-looking guy. I know he's over 40, doesn't look it, but he's very, very poised.
Well, truthful. I think the one thing that he is he's a straight-up coach who has a no-nonsense approach. He's comfortable in his own skin, and I think he does look younger than 40.
And, he's a young guy, but he's not afraid to challenge his players, and he keeps an even keel. You won't see him breaking any clipboards. I like this guy.
You may not see him breaking any clipboards. That doesn't mean he doesn't do it behind closed doors.
Well, see, there's a difference.
I know.
We like it when you're behind closed doors breaking them. We just don't want it in public. Don't embarrass us.
Here's Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And the performance of the Star-Spangled Banner by Linda Lynn. We are happy to have you with us tonight for the NBA on 2K Sports. Alongside Chris Webber and Greg Anthony, I'm Kevin Harlan, the fourth member of our crew. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. Looking at Boston, they took a win in their last game against the Charlotte Hornets.
And when you shoot a high percentage from distance, that gives you momentum and really keeps the opponent on the ropes.
Well, especially important on the ropes. Sinking those deep shots makes it hard for the other team to build momentum.
Now let's send it down to David Aldridge, standing by from the sidelines. David?
Well, guys, James Harden is a great offensive player, but there's no mistaking it. He does dominate the ball. Now, that can bother teammates sometimes, but Coach Mike D'Antoni says when they feel that paycheck every 2 weeks, that should make them play hard. You have to be a star in your role. So when James gets the ball to you, shoot it, and then run back and play hard as heck. Kevin?
Thanks. He's a great passer, David. There's no doubt he can set the table. Well, Chris, as we get deeper into the season, it becomes clear to us, the fans, who the real title contenders are. You were on some teams that were considered title contenders. When did you know that this was the way your team was going to go?
Well, I think you know you can go all the way when you come in to training camp. You have a special feeling. You know each player's skill set. You know how they can add to yours. You understand the chemistry. I don't think any team comes together in the beginning of the season and doesn't expect that they can win a championship, the ones that really have a legitimate chance. It's not like you can say, hey, I didn't know we were that good. Hey, we can vie for the championships. No, I think Most teams go into this season from the last year saying, you know what, next year is our year, and that's how we were. We prepared for it for day one in training camp. That's how we approached it. And being on bad teams, you don't even mention championship. You say, hey, we need to get better every day. That's a code for we're going to be bad, but let's keep our head up and take this punch in the face and keep it going.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. The two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in at the center position. First free throw is good.
Well, Chris Paul signing the big contract this past offseason, and you knew he'd end up with one of the biggest deals out there, and his impact on a team goes far beyond just stats.
And so Paul nails both of them. Well, Greg, Houston wanted Chris Paul, and they got their man. One of the bigger surprises, certainly, of the offseason.
Yeah, and without Paul on this roster, this team isn't in the conversation for winning. You need him to keep your window of winning open, and he is just that impactful and makes everyone on the floor better.
Shots good by Baines.
And it took them a while to get going, but they finally connected now on their fourth shot of the game.
Harden can't hit. The Celtics have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Anderson with the block. They get it back. And here comes Harden, leading the fast break. And he gets it to go. Harden's got his first basket of the night.
And Harden is the last guy the D wants to see get loose on the break. I mean, so talented at finishing off of these opportunities.
And it's Brown missing. Celtics on D. It's Harden with the drive, and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Harden's got his second bucket of the night.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
Uses the glass to finish the layup. Harden's got 6 points.
Well, he can finish with force or finesse. The beard does it all.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Horford missing again.
Maybe he should look to pass the ball right now and get his teammates involved, because right now, his shot's not falling. He's ice cold. Now that makes them 80% from the floor early on. Let's see how long they can stay this hot.
Well, across the board last season, James Harden, Greg, saw his numbers jump through the roof, but he showed improvement both in his defensive engagement as well as his rebounding. Not something that a lot of us saw coming.
Yeah, that's a good point. And with Harden, I think the rebounding is the really surprising number. Went from being an average rebounding guard to a great one the last few seasons. He's been showing more of a dedication to all aspects of the game.
And Harden was the runner-up for the MVP award in 2015, a dynamite player, and continues to excel in all aspects of the game.
They get a hand on it. And it's Houston on the break. Harden's got the ball. And the Rockets getting another bucket right there.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. Now, here's Irving. He picked up 21 points in their last win against Charlotte.
Yeah, but what about the passing? Crisp, decisive. He racked up a ton of assists, impacted the game in a number of ways.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
Here's Irving. He's a guy we see deliver on a nightly basis, averaging about 24.5 points a game. Here's Brown. Good work defensively by Capella.
He's still looking to get into a groove this quarter.
And there's Ryan Anderson on the assist from Capella. Anderson's got his first 2 points. Irving passes to Horford. Here's the three. Harden grabs the miss.
He has been just terrible this game, a real negative for his team.
Look at that jam! I mean, just beautiful.
Sick.
I mean, come on, man. Harden is ridiculously clever, including how he decides to posterize you. A superb athlete.
And now, the first timeout called here for Boston. And last season, the Rockets retired Yao Ming's number for the organization, a career cut short by injuries, but he was such a huge part of the history here, and it was great to see that honor bestowed on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yao Ming, one of the largest players I've ever seen in this game. I remember having to go up against him. He was so skilled for a player his size, had some great battles.
And when you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately, really unbelievable.
Man, this is a joke, right? I mean, there's been some glimpses of hope, but they've been few and far between.
Well, some of the numbers NBA wingmen have been putting up from the field this season are truly impressive. Have a look at the top shooters among them. In the third spot, Jason Tatum.
And that tells you about their ability to slash through the defense and get to the hoop effectively. I mean, because you have to be getting a lot of layups to have that kind of a percentage.
Well, it really makes them such an intimidating team. You know that no one wants to get in their way when they're in attack mode.
Here's Baines, currently averaging almost 6 points a game.
And so far this quarter, he's been a little off on his game.
Yeah, the scoring, I mean, it's not coming easy for him. You have to get into a little rhythm, but that's when you can make the extra pass, play the role of the facilitator.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Brown. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Horford kicks to Tatum. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Some very slack defending, playing with fire to leave him that open beyond the arc.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Celtics trail by 17. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Horford dishes to Irving. Nice ball movement by Boston. There's a good screen to halt the run. Horford, no luck.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly. And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
So it's the Celtics now. Outside Irving. Dishes it to Tatum. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Tatum's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Here's Ariza. Lays it in without an inch of room around him.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
Irving with the ball. He's picked up by Paul. Count that one.
About time he got one to fall there. Before that, 6 straight misses to start this one.
Anderson. And no good. And it's Boston the other way. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Rockets team.
It's not often we get to see this matchup, but it is a doozy when we do. Just 2 powerhouse teams facing off.
I mean, who knows? If you want to look all the way ahead to the finals, it's possible these teams could see each other there. So both teams looking to make a statement in their first meeting of the season.
Brown wide open. He fires. From outside, off the mark.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard. And we're seeing some great ball movement out of this group, guys.
Irving against Paul. And Baines kicks to Irving. Buries the long-range jumper. Irving's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Look at that. No hesitation at all from Irving. He's looking to score as soon as he touches the rock.
And Anderson slams it in.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Right off the opening tip, they've been relentless. And this style of play can be hard to come back against.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And Chris, I know you started doing a podcast, Fearless or Insane, with Chris Webber, an opportunity to have some meaningful conversations. What's that been like?
It's been great, Kevin. I've gotten a chance to talk to some friends, some mentors like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I've gotten to speak to him about what it was like playing for Wooden, what it was like coming up in the crazy 60s in that time. And, you know, he's such a thoughtful and a great individual. So to hear his stories about he and Muhammad Ali, he and Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these great figures is just wonderful. I also got to speak to track legends John Carlos and Tommy Smith, who in the 1968 Olympics, we've seen them kind of protest when they put their fist up in defiance and kind of put their voice out for the voiceless. And I got to talk to them about how tough of a moment that was. Did they know the sacrifice that they were making? What happened, the backlash to what happened? And then all these years later, do they feel kind of vindicated that we're showing them so much love and people around the world appreciated what they've done? So we try to just discuss fearless or insane. You know, they say insane is doing the same thing over, expecting a different result, where these guys put their lives on the line.
Yes.
And they kind of knew that it necessarily wouldn't change the arc of justice, but they felt that they had to do it. And so it's just some cool conversations with people and athletes that were much more than an athlete. And I've learned a lot, and it's been a cool podcast.
Yeah, that's 2 straight 3-pointers they've allowed.
Right wing. Here's Tucker, and it's sent back by Horford.
Wow, the rim protection by Horford. I mean, Al Horford standing 6'10", always played bigger.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
Jacks up a 3, and Eric Gordon pulls it down.
Wow, he's really been dragging them down tonight.
Ariza goes in. Second shot opportunity, and Capella with the layup. Capella's got his first points of the night.
Oh, man, Capella absolutely destroys the opposition on the offensive glass, using that gigantic body of his to snag down second chance opportunity.
Now here's Irving. He's got 6. Irving double team. Stolen by Tucker. Capella inside. Baines is there. Great D that time from Irving. Paul with the steal. Here's Capella. And it's Irving with the rebound.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him, and they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc. Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Yeah, you got to love it. Everything's working. Offense, defense, already a big lead.
Now here is Irving. There's a good screen. Here's Smart. They get it back. Shots good by Baines. Baines has got 6. Houston leading by 13 and stolen by Horford. Outside Irving. Here's Baines. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 4 assists in the game.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
A nice shot by Tucker.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Irving passes to Baines, and Horford wide open. He shoots, drains the 3-pointer. Horford's got his second basket.
Horford continues to show us that he loves to drain the 3-pointer.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
Oh, okay, you've done your job so far, but the question is now, can they sustain this level of energy? There's still a lot of game to play.
Irving with the ball. He's picked up by Paul. Irving double team. Now here's Smart. He's covered closely. And there's Horford. That's good on the assist from Smart. That's 7 points for Horford.
Oh, nice look there from Smart, finding the open man.
Here's Tucker. Makes it off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 12.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
I mean, I don't know whether to say it's amazing or it's sad, but you're down double digits and you still allow an uncontested layup. Where is the pride? Where is your heart?
Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
That's the key. The D can't focus on one player, and no matter what anybody tells you, that ball will always move quicker than the defender.
And one reason why the Rockets were okay with letting Dwight Howard leave was because they knew that Clint Capella could fill that role. He quietly gives this team that finisher down on the block, and he has been absolutely, Chris, huge for the Rockets.
Oh, yeah, maybe the best in the league at finishing off lobs last year. Not the most spectacular, but the most consistent last year on that pick and roll because he's so active without the ball, always moving, giving guards a target, great hands to catch and finish.
Celtics trail by 15. Passes it to Ojale from outside the arc. Rebounded by Tucker.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Here's Paul. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. The Celtics shooting percentage pretty low here in the first, just 34% so far. Here's Rozier. Boston, no good that time either. Rockets leading by 15. Here's Tucker, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here. It goes on Jason Tatum. Houston shooting their fifth and 6 free throws of the game.
And team free throw numbers really about as good as you could ask for, around 80% on the season.
Two shots. Last on the first.
That's good from Tucker.
And how unique is this situation for the Celtics? I mean, one of the best teams in the league, and yet at the same time still drafting top picks. You know, the after effects of a trade with the Nets that quite honestly will go down as one of the league's all-time heists.
Both free throws good from Tucker. And as the Nets struggle to rebuild without their draft picks, Greg, their losses have been Boston's gain.
Yeah, the rich get richer. I mean, meanwhile, the Celtics sign all-star caliber veterans like Al Horford and Gordon Hayward on the open market. And it's just rare for a team to have the best record in the conference and land the #1 overall pick. And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin. Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Celtics trail by 19. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
And it's Eric Gordon with the foul. That's his first foul. There's 49 seconds left to play here in the first. Rozier kicks to Tatum. Sinks the three-pointer. Tatum's got 9.
And how about the way he squares up on that triple? Tatum is a skilled sniper who plays with confidence.
.40 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Rozier, the pass to Smart. Here's the screen. The pass to Tatum. Out to the right wing. Takes a 3. They get the rebound. Pass to Rozier. The dish now to Smart. Stolen by Tucker. And it's the Rockets on the break. And again, Eric Gordon. And the Rockets lead by 18.
Well, I like that he shows no hesitation there.
Yeah, while he's taking off, no one on the other side reacts. They give up the easy points.
Just 4 seconds left to play here in the first. Capella. An amazing shot, just barely beat the buzzer!
That is as big a shot as you are ever going to see.
Nice shot, incredible clutch performance, putting the team on his back and taking them right across the finish line.
James Harden getting it done for Houston. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all, and he looks to be planning for more. And we'll be right back after this. Hey, talked to Chris Paul, and it's clear he was born to play the point guard position.
Fortunately, I've always been vertically challenged, so I've never had to play power forward or center on anybody's team. I've been passing and getting into the lane, dishing the ball off to a teammate, helping people score my entire career.
Vertically challenged, that's classic coming from Chris Paul. But, you know, seriously, Greg, he's taken that challenge and made the most of what he's got. A terrific player.
Really, and you know what? He's actually turned that challenge on his head when he goes right at much bigger players and uses their size against them.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And, guys, we've seen the Rockets really take control here.
Just playing suffocating defense. That's been the difference here for them.
And really, for the whole first quarter, they've maintained their intensity. Let's see how long they can sustain it.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So on the floor for Houston, Chris Paul and Gordon are the backcourt pair. Nene is out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Capella in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Smart. The Rockets making the shot from the baseline. And another basket for Boston.
A fantastic shot by Rozier. I mean, exactly the kind of shot you want him taking when he's got space.
Tips it, controls the rebound, and puts it back up and in. Tucker's got 10 points in the game.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Here's the screen. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Tucker. Here's Paul. With the second effort, a nice shot by Tucker. Tucker's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
To the paint. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. That's on Clint Capella.
And how about Tatum there, using his muscle, easily absorbing the contact and still able to knock down the shot.
The Celtics shooting their first foul shot of the night. Catching up on the changes for Houston. Anderson, he's checked in for Capella, and it's James Harden in for Paul.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And that one falls for Tatum. Watching Jason Tatum, it's hard to find many faults in his game, Greg. He's strong inside and out and plays both ends of the floor equally well.
Yeah, kind of a jack of all trades, right, and master of none. He does everything reasonably well on the basketball floor, just doesn't do anything great. Having said that, though, Tatum is one of those guys that I think improves the overall IQ of your team, and terrific size at his position.
And part of analyzing a game can be offering forth critique of players or officials or organizations. Chris, how do you find that balance of candor and yet not being too critical, being too harsh?
Great question. The way I try to have an honest balance is to remember how I felt when it happened to me.
Interesting.
When you're a player, if someone comes with hard, credible evidence, I mean, it's true. You can't take anything personal. But when guys are just criticizing the same jump shot that you made last play, I'm not that guy. So, I try to keep a balance by being fair and honest, first of all, to the fans of that city and that state, and letting them know how great their team is, but also that maybe their team is playing lazy. Maybe look at this effort not out there by the floor. But also, in a blowout game, I also give the team that's losing by 30 just as much respect as I do the winning team, because those guys work just as hard. This is just a specific night they didn't play that well. So I just try to make every game as special as it is to me, from being a kid growing up to being able to play in the league, but then also just being fair. Benefit of the doubt first, but if you do 2 or 3 stupid things, then you're a stupid player that night. Just being honest, having fun. And I've gotten some calls from players, and I don't care. I'm not hard to find. And I just try to have fun, be honest, and no hard feelings, man.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
It can be discouraging, frustrating, but you only have yourselves to blame. Box out.
Celtics have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
And taking a look at the numbers on the season, they've converted about 77% of those foul shots.
One shot.
And the free throw, no good. Ogilvy to the left wing. Here's Rozier. Offline with his three. Houston leading by 20. Here's Nene.
Oh, he's not happy to pick up a second foul. This early in the game, he's got to be careful now.
Celtics making a switch here. Yabusele's checked in. Here is Harden. 29 points for him last game against Oklahoma City.
Don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
And a terrific percentage here in the first half. You got to love their rhythm and the flow with which they're playing.
Well, it's the shot selection. That's been a positive for them thus far and a negative for their opponent.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
And watching James Harden, the amount of shots he is able to create for himself and his teammates, he just does so much from his position that is unrivaled. One of the greatest offensive threats, not only today, but really of the last decade.
And a look now at the breakdown between three-point and two-point shots attempted here tonight for the Celtics.
And that's a lot of three-point attempts for a team not shooting it all that well today. If they were making more of them, then great. Keep shooting them and use it to try and get a lead, but it's not helping their cause right now.
And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Back to Smart. To the wing right side. Ogilvy. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Smart's got 3 assists tonight.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Team ball. Great execution on offense. Everyone working together. You wish you could have that on every play.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
There's the pick. Fires from deep. The shot by Ogilvy, no good.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket. Tucker's got 6 in the quarter.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
The screen from Brown. And Harden comes to help. Pass to Yabusele. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Taking a look here at some numbers for Rozier. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's getting around 8 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
He hustles, does the little things, just a good complimentary guy who you need on your team. Well, he's played a smart and strong game. His field goal percentage proves it.
Passes it to Ogilvy. In the corner, Smart with it. Will it go? Again, the miss by the Celtics. Houston in total control. Here's Gordon. Goes right through for bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start.
And that first quick step of Gordon, super effective at getting him space, which gets him to the rim.
The screen from Brown. The feed to Smart. And there's the pass to Rozier. The Celtics working the ball around now. Clock at 4. Rockets with the rebound. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And they couldn't get stops when they needed to. The opposition just too comfortable shooting the basketball.
And that's what can happen on the road. You have to be aggressive and try to disrupt them out of their normal routine.
So it's Boston now. The Rockets making the shot. Poked away, taken away by Nene. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And Harden is never scared of physical defenders. I mean, he embraces the opportunity to get these calls when he's shooting. Well, the one thing you notice about the Celtics, they look for players with a chip on their shoulder. They want players with that inner fire, that love competition.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
First one falls for him. And you look up and down the Celtics roster, Chris, a lot of guys who play with a chip on their shoulder.
Well, that's how you build a culture. It rubs off on the other players. I mean, you have to find those guys, though. It's not something you can teach.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Al Horford's checked in for Ojale. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Terry Rozier. And a switch here also for Houston. Trevor Ariza's checked in for P.J. Tucker. That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2. Chris, you certainly played with some colorful characters during your career. Which players do you think are the biggest personalities now in the NBA?
Wow, I mean, when you think about the biggest personalities now, I mean, I think about a guy like Westbrook who's so soft-spoken, but his game is so loud that, you know, you have to take notice. Draymond Green, I think he's always been a guy that has never shied away from a microphone or the limelight. He's another guy that comes to mind. And so, and I think, you know, you always have to look at LeBron just because he garners so much attention, just because what he does is always going to be headline news, that he has fun with it. And so those 3 guys come to mind when I think about the biggest personalities in the league.
Here's Smart. 6 points for him. The screen from Brown. Smart kicks to Irving. Back to Smart. Pass to Yabusele. Irving with a clean look. Offensive rebound. The Rockets shooting an unreal 70% from the field, making a mockery of this defense. Ariza with the bucket.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's Brown, following the score by Trevor Ariza. Shoots over Brown. That's good from Ariza on the assist by Gordon. Gordon's got 3 assists in the game. Boston shooting has been wayward so far, only 37% from the floor. Brown against Ariza. Brown inside. And he lays it straight in.
And Brown is just utilizing his athleticism yet again. I mean, this time from the interior, though, but just sinking these close-range shots.
Anderson in the post. That one, no good. Now Boston takes it the other way. Their next game, playing at home, is the Nets coming to town. That'll be the second of 4 games at home for them. Stolen by Anderson. Here's Ariza. And Ariza with the stuff.
Yeah, and credit Ariza for just staying active and coming up with the steal on that one. He was on the prowl and ready to catch him napping.
The Celtics shooting 41% from the field here in the second. Irving with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Ariza brings the double. Ball's knocked loose. Back to Irving. Over in the corner, Brown. Clock at 4. From outside, off the mark.
Not sure why he keeps trying his luck from deep here. It's just not his night.
And there it is for him. 14 points for Ariza.
It's clear to me. Is it clear to you that Ariza feels at home in the post? I mean, just working his way inside and nailing these quality shots.
And Trevor Ariza is going to pick up a foul here. That's his first foul. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Yabusele. Over in the corner, Brown. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Brown's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
Irving with the ball, and it's Harden picking him up. Smart, wide open, he fires. But they'll get another chance.
Yeah, just nice hustle there. That work gets them the extra possession.
And Brown is a reliable threat from mid-range. I mean, effortlessly rising up for the nice-looking J.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
He tries for 3. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Gordon's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
But if you thought the D was going to tighten up on him here in the second quarter, think again.
It's stolen by Ariza. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance. And how about the career progression of Trevor Ariza? He came into this league somewhat as an energy player who, obviously could attack the rim. Now he's one of those guys who's primarily a 3-and-D component.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Clint Capella comes in for Nene. And it's Paul in for Gordon.
Shooting 1.
That free throw good from Trevor Ariza. For Ariza, his first few years in the NBA, over half his shots came within a few feet of the rim. Greg, now over 2/3 of his shots are from beyond the arc.
And that's just how it goes for some players in the NBA. Ariza still, he has some bursts to finish at the rim, but has turned himself into a deep threat, and he's always been a presence with his defense as well.
To end the run, the kick out to Irving. Oh, good with the triple.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
He gets it in there.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Now, here is Irving. He's got 6. At the top of the key, Baines. Celtics passing it around. And Kyrie Irving gets the 3. Irving's got his 3rd basket of the night.
Oh, and that's his first 3 of the second quarter. 3rd overall this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been orchestrating all game at a high level.
And you see defensively, when they try to patch something up, he exploits a different weakness.
Here's Irving. He's got 9.
And just think about this. Kyrie Irving in his single season at Duke, he only played 11 games. He was limited to 11 games. Still, he was the #1 overall pick.
Shooting 2.
That's just game. And then he justified it winning Rookie of the Year. Incredible.
And that one falls for Irving. And Kyrie Irving with a historically great rookie campaign. But some have said he hasn't improved a whole lot on that big entrance into the NBA.
His defense is still a work in progress, and that's what he has to shore up if he's going to enter the conversation for maybe best point guard in the world. But to me, he's already in that conversation.
And Kyrie Irving very steady with the ball in his hands. Not a lot of turnovers for a player who handles the ball as much as he does.
Yeah, I mean, he makes great reads. Pick and roll, drives, kicks. He keeps his dribble low, but sometimes he has his dribble high. He's great at the pocket passes, great off pick and rolls, great at screens, and can space the floor.
So it's the Rockets now. Here's Harden. Here's Smart. It's tipped. Good work defensively by Capella.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
And you can see now they're starting to push the tempo to good effect.
Here's Irving after Clint Capella's bucket. Irving double team. Inside, Baines. Good D by Ariza.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
And the Celtics with possession here, following the basket by Chris Paul. Elbow shot, and Houston again with the bucket.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Paul against Irving. 58 seconds left here in the second. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. And a chance here to take a look at the shooting chart for Ariza.
Well, just look at the cluster in the middle of the paint. That right there tells you all you need to know about how they have built the lead they have. They are playing with more intensity on the offensive side of the ball, and it's the difference in the game right now. You have to love how they've approached this matchup.
There's 53 seconds left to play here in the half. Here's Capella. Score that one for him. His 8th field goal. 8 for 11 on a very accurate night.
And, Kevin, they've dialed up their activity this quarter. We're seeing them convert a lot of those second chance opportunities.
Irving against Paul. Paul with the steal. One-on-one fast break. Shoots from 14. Ariza no luck. Boston shooting a meager 37% for the game. Feeds to Tatum. They can't stop the run with that one. And for Houston, they're shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. The shot's good from Paul.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
And taken away by Paul. And here we go. Paul heading to the hoop. And Harden gets it to go in on the assist by Paul. 16 points for James Harden.
Just finding the open man. Few who have ever played this game have Paul's vision.
And so it's Houston holding an unbelievable lead as the quarter wraps up. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. Houston holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny, what's your take?
Well, we have to talk about the unbelievable job they've done rebounding the basketball. They've sent bodies flying to the boards on every possession. They've been a stronger, quicker, tougher team by a wide margin. And it's that dominance on the glass that's going to win them this game.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Celtics?
Not pretty to watch how they get torched in the low post, Ernie. When they were playing defense in the post, you know me, Ernie. Barbecue chicken alert, barbecue chicken alert. This team is going to have to up the pressure, play more physical in the second half, start a fight, throw some bowls, let's go.
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
Welcome back, everyone. There's State Station. That's where you get off the T if you're going to go visit the old State House here in Boston. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Without question, Trevor Ariza displaying his skills today.
Well, they've done a good job of letting the game come to them, and really few forced shots here so far.
Terrific first half on offense. This is how you draw it up. We'll see if they can maintain that efficiency going forward.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Irving and Brown pair at the 1 and the 2. Horford is out there with Aaron Bain. Celtics, and it's Tatum in at the small forward position. That's the Boston 5. Now here's Irving after Clint Capella's miss. The basket counts and one. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play.
Swingman Jaylen Brown trying to find his way in the league. He had a really good playoff last year, and he's kind of a renaissance man. Plays the guitar, studies foreign languages, is captain of his high school chess team, but he doesn't want none of me, though. You know, I'll get him in chess.
One shot, behind the lanes.
Brown, no good on the free throw.
And you think back to some of the highest paced and up-tempo teams in the league. This Houston group is right up there with all of them. They look to push it on you the second they get a chance. 0 for 3 now since halftime. Taking them a little while to find their rhythm.
Stolen by Harden. And it's Harden slamming it down.
Oh, and when Harden is going strong to the rim, he's looking for the throwdown, ripping the rim down hard on that one.
That Unleash Chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. Brown, good. And with the pace the Rockets play with, Chris, it isn't just running as soon as they can. Part of the decision to have Harden as the point guard last season was to speed up their playmaking from the beginning.
Well, the Rockets have streamlined everything and cut down the total time to run their sets. That's why they get so many possessions in the game. They know the more chances they get with their offense, the better the results are for them.
Here's Irving. James Harden picking up that last basket. And it's Brown missing. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
He's giving them a nice lift this quarter. The shots are falling for him.
Well, Ryan Anderson, a terrific deep threat in stretch 4.
And I remember last season when he told reporters that a heckler yelled out at him, "Hey, Ryan, you look like a math teacher." And you know, we've heard a lot of these off-the-wall heckles before, but the irony is it's oftentimes the strange ones that tend to stick with you more. And that's an example of it right there.
The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Irving with the ball. He's picked up by Paul. Stolen by Harden. And here we go. Harden heading to the hoop. And the jam by Harden.
Well, Kevin, how about the quick hands of Harden? They're easily coming up with the steal thanks to his activity.
Just over a minute and a half have passed here in the third quarter. Over in the corner, Brown. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. And that's 15 points for Jaylen Brown.
Solid start to the half for them. 3 of 4 from the field now. That was as easy as it gets. He needs to complete those looks.
The Celtics have gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. And stolen by Ariza. And here comes Ariza, leading the fast break. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. A lot of answers, but still a lot of questions for how the East is going to ultimately shake out this year. But right now, let's check out where the team stands. You look at the Celtics, and not a surprise really to see them sitting there in that number 1 spot in the conference. The excellent brand of basketball they've been putting on display lately has been terrific. And checking out Cleveland, right behind them, just 1 spot down.
And, you know, for Boston, as talented a team as they are, has performed at a very high level this season. Everything's gone according to plan up to this point.
That's why you have to give a ton of credit to the players in terms of how they've played all season. And they aren't done yet.
Now, Tatum. James Harden missing on the 3.
You can see that he definitely takes rebounding seriously, and his size really helps him come down with plenty of those tough boards.
Drops in the layup for 2. Harden's got 11 in the second half.
I mean, you gotta love, I love the aggressiveness of Harden on offense, just relentless, and how he constantly looks for his shots.
Over in the corner, Brown. Picked by Horford. In the corner, Tatum with it. Off target from outside.
Look, they cannot leave him open like that. The D got away with one there.
Here's Harden. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. 29 points for James Harden.
And although the D was solid, Harden beats them with better offense. I mean, good D, better O. When he's right near the cup, he's extremely efficient.
Now, here is Irving. He's got 14. There's Brown with the 3. The rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got his 6th rebound on the night. Over Brown. And Houston again with the bucket.
Well, this is a different ball game without his scoring. He's been Mr. Reliable at the offensive end.
They get a hand on it. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. Well, some rookies have been making a name for themselves on the glass this past month. Let's see who we're talking about. The 4th spot held by Jason Tatum.
And every team in the league needs a guy who can go and get. I mean, his great work on the boards certainly endear him to the coaching staff.
Ojale is checked in for the Celtics. Terry Rozier comes in for Kyrie Irving. Now here's Tatum. His scoring has been there on a regular basis. He's averaging more than 14 points a game. Paul goes in. Horford with the rebound. Celtics have gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the 3rd. Stops. Pops. The Rockets pull it in. Here's Harden. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Harden's got 33.
Well, Harden's strength is part of what makes him special. Able to score through all kinds of contact.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Sinks that one from the post. Harden's got 35.
He's taking over the game. Their lead's going to get even bigger if he keeps this up.
Knocked away. Stolen by Harden. Lays it up off the glass.
And wasting no time in transition, really pushing the pace.
It's been several possessions since they've converted.
And they've got to find a way to change that.
Rozier kicks to Brown. Off the mark and a bad shot there.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Yeah, trying to recapture momentum. When the tide's running against you, very difficult to do. What do the young kids say today? Ride that wave.
Here's Rozier. Taking a look at the scoring numbers, right now he averages about 9 points a game. The 3. Horford, no luck. The Rockets shooting in the 3rd quarter has been brilliant, up around 58%. With the second effort, no good that time.
Wow, he just does everything right there except hit the layup.
Pass to Ojale. There's the 3. It's rebounded by Houston. Gordon's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Paul. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8.
Man, he takes it to the rack, but then just smoothly flows it in with the finger roll.
Rozier the pass to Tatum, and Gordon over to help. Here's Ojale. Misses the 3.
He isn't getting it to fall from outside during this half after recording a 3 during the 1st.
A nice shot by Anderson.
Well, it had been a little bit of a bumpy ride for Mike D'Antoni before coming to Houston. He had underwhelming results in New York and L.A. before taking time off from coaching, but he's found great success since coming back with the Rockets.
Here's Rozier. He kicks to Horford. Horford double team. He dishes it to Tatum. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. And that's now 17 points for Jason Tatum. Here's Gordon, and it's blocked by Brown. To the right side. Tatum wide open. He fires one. The three-pointer, no good. And when the Rockets hired Mike D'Antoni, there wasn't a lot of fanfare. But this has turned out to be one of the best fits in his coaching career. In fact, he was the NBA Coach of the Year last season.
Yeah, you never know how a coach will mesh with the team, and D'Antoni has fit in perfectly here. He made some changes early on and has the Rockets as a great offensive powerhouse. Even has the team playing some defense. I mean, something his teams have never been known for. Defensively, they could have done better. That's an open look he'd like to have back.
Harden with it, picked up by Brown. And yes, it's good.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Here's Rozier, defended by Paul. Kicks it to Tatum. Rockets with the rebound.
Look, he had all the time in the world to get the jumper off. Maybe it was too much time.
The Celtics shooting a pretty wretched 28% in the third quarter. This offense needs to maybe try some different angles. And he's good on the three ball. Rozier's got 5 now.
Oh, beautiful looking three ball from Rozier, really expanding his range.
Here's Anderson. They get it back. And the dunk by Capella.
And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Greg cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes. But guys, the defense knows he has this ability, correct? Yet no one thinks to put a body on him? Incredible.
That one's not going to go. Good work defensively by Horford. Brown with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Brown dishes to Horford. Off target from three-point range. Houston's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Capella with the bucket.
Even with the suffocating defense, Capella keeps his composure, sinking these interior looks rather effortlessly.
Horford with the screen on Paul. Knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Capella. And now a chance to take a look at the shot chart for the Celtics.
And guys, really the story for him has been his struggles from mid-range. I mean, some of them have been rushed. Others were just tightly contested. But he has to be a lot smarter on when to pull up or when to look for a teammate going forward in terms of winning this game.
Here's Rozier. 5 points in the game. Cans it from downtown. 6 points for him.
And you can see the play calling this half. Another one from distance.
Well, that's because they made a concerted effort to get the shooters involved. Now they've built up the confidence.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Nene, he's checked in for the Rockets. P.J. Tucker comes in for James Harden. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. And Ryan Anderson perhaps personifies what it means to be a stretch 4. He's 6'10". He came off the bench for 4 years in New Orleans. He's always been a great shooter, Chris, and was exactly what the Rockets were hoping he would be when they signed him.
Look, I know what Anderson was thinking. This is a match made in heaven. He was always a great offensive forward, but the system they use is just perfect for him.
Checking out some numbers here for Chris Paul. This last month, he's been positively spectacular. 5th in assists, 5th in steals, and tremendous confidence and consistency at the foul line. He ranks among the top 15 in free throw percentage.
And as you said, dropping dimes at a top 5 pace. He's in total command of his team. They look to him for leadership, and he does not disappoint. Nice shot by Smart.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Here's Capella. No good on that one. And it's Boston the other way. Smart with the ball. And it's Gordon picking him up. Smart passes to Ojala. The three-pointer, no good.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Took him no time at all on that one. And that's now 27 points for Clint Capella.
This is an amazing run he's on. It's like he's been the only guy on the floor this quarter.
And there's the call on Nene. That'll be his second foul of the game. Now here's Smart, defended by Gordon, and stolen by Gordon.
All you have to do is point to their turnovers this quarter. There's a reason the scoreboard looks like it does.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
To the right side. Passes it to Rozier. Shot clock at 6. And Paul over to help. Tice. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. And looking at the real stats, real scores from the real NBA, we can see the teams that make the most of their trips to the foul line. The Rockets fourth.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want a foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
Bucket is good.
Their interior has been inferior defensively. It has got to tighten up.
The Celtics shooting at 36%. They really seem out of sync offensively. Over to the wing. To the inside. Here's Yabusele. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
Oh, he caught him in stride with the lead pass. Now that was timing.
Here's Tucker, and that one is stuffed right through.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. The Celtics shooting a troubling 38% in the third. Not the finest work of this offense. And Gordon over to help. And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
He's off on the first.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Marcus Smart might be the most physically imposing point guard in the league, especially with this fiery approach to the game.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ogilvy, and Irving subbed in for Rozier. And the second free throw, good. And the 6th pick in the 2014 draft out of Oklahoma State, one of the Cowboys, Marcus Smart, might not put up eye-popping numbers, Chris, but they love what he brings to the table.
Yeah, it's all about his heart. I mean, his offensive game has been a little slow to develop. He doesn't shoot great percentages, but when his team needs him most, it seems like he always has a big impact on the game, whether offensively, defensively, a big rebound. He's just a good luck charm for them. He's almost like the leprechaun. Those passes into the paint have to be precise, just like that one.
Here's Nene. Goes back up. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. 14 points for Chris Paul.
And you can see how this game is going. I mean, put a body on somebody.
Man, this is what happens when you get discouraged. Sometimes it just affects every part of your game.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Houston on top, opening up a huge gap. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us. Welcome back. 4th quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. The Celtics shooting has been wayward so far. Only 37% from the floor. Taking a look at the Rockets. Gordon out there with Brown. Then it's P.J. Tucker. Then it's Williams. Then it's Nene in at the 5. Celtics passing it around. Clock at 6. Over to the wing. Larkin. Kept alive by Boston.
They are really crashing the offensive glass, and it's paying off for them.
Allen passes to Nader. There's the screen. Second shot opportunity. Rebounded by Tucker. Tucker's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Nene into the lane. And the Rockets getting another bucket right there. And the Celtics with possession here. There's the pass to Yabusele. He dents the rim with a 2-handed slam. Wow.
He is a fantastic athlete for a power forward. Whatever he lacks in height, he makes up for with hops.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
They double him with Nene. Poked loose. Stolen by Nene. Here's Williams. Look at that.
Wow. And how about just floating to the rim on that slam?
Boy, when he gets up, I mean, he gets up. The The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Pass to Yabusele. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. To the inside. The shot by Nader, no good. For Houston, they've gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the fourth quarter. They came out of the break on a roll.
And, you know, you can see in his eyes, he knows that is not a dunk he should have missed.
He feeds it to Larkin. And Brown over to help. Here's Nader, guarded by Nene. 5 to shoot. Allen passes to Nader. And poor shot selection there. Not a high percentage look for him. Outside Williams.
And one thing that is quite clear with the Rockets in terms of their approach is their shot selection. They prefer easy layups or threes. Very rarely will you see them play that in-between game.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. Houston making a switch here. Onuaku's checked in. And so he makes both from the line. Boston's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Nobody near Allen. Sinks the three-pointer. And it's the Rockets with the ball. Here's Onuaku. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Worked that one inside nicely.
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Larkin kicks to Allen. Chris, traditionally, we've had the standard 1 through 5 spots on an NBA team, but it seems more and more GMs and coaches are going away from labeling a player to one of those spots, like positionless basketball. Are we going to see more of that?
Foul.
Is it going to work its way around to another level? How do you view that?
Well, I just think that the game is evolving, and I think right now you have to have a certain skill set to play, and that means you have to be able to dribble, pass, shoot, and defend. If you think about it, we had players that could just defend, couldn't dribble or throw a ball in the ocean. Well, that really can't work anymore, and you have to have players with the total skill set regardless of size. I do think, though, that you'll always have to have positions. I hated how we took the center out of the All-Star game. You never see in baseball, they say, it's okay, you don't have to have a center fielder. You could just put 2 left fielders in there. You still have to identify a position, and for the tradition and the honor of the game, I say we do that. But we got some pretty big guys and some pretty great guys. So what would you call Dirk Nowitzki? Is he a 5? He's 7 feet tall. Is he a 4? Is he a 3? It doesn't matter. He just has game. What do you call Kevin Durant? A 7-foot flamethrower? I mean, he's a center, a power forward. I don't know what you call him, but I know that size or positions are no more defined by height. They used to be defined by height. 7 foot and up centers, 6'9" and up power forwards. Now you have 6'9" and up point guards. So I love the fact that the game's evolving, but I think the 5 best players are just going to play, but you're going to have every single size because right now skill set is all that matters.
And it's Eric Gordon with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. That's tipped. And Gordon over to help. 6 to shoot. Here's Nader. And again, Boston with the triple. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Here's Williams. That falls. Great assist by Bobby Brown. And it's 6 points for Williams. Boston's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Williams is running, and it's slammed in by Williams.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
And it's Troy Williams with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Tarek Black, he's checked in for the Rockets. Williams comes with a double team. Over to the wing. Tice. And he converts the layup.
And look at that. That's just a great all-around play. Getting into position for the offensive rebound, finishing strong on the putback.
Here's Williams. And Boston with the rebound. Here's Nader. And something we see now in the modern NBA, Chris, is that players will try and recruit other players in free agency, sometimes almost leading up to free agency. How often do you think that happens now, and how is that, say, different from when you played?
It's a lot different from when I played. I think guys wanted to play together, but we did not recruit or try to play together with each other because of the way that the rules were in collective bargaining and because of the way the game was at that time. At that time, even if you had a friend that was your very close friend off the court, you wanted to beat him for bragging rights on the court. Back then, it was more of, can my team beat your team, not can we play together. I tell you what, with friends that I had in the league at that time, that would have been pretty cool to play with some of my friends that I think were great players. But I just think it's just been a line in the sand. It's just changed. I think a lot of it's changed because we're playing basketball at younger ages. Guys are playing and traveling the country and know each other from ages 10, 11, and 12, so they have honest, genuine friendships and really want to play together, and so I don't really think it's a problem, but it's interesting watching these super teams and how all of this is developing. It definitely didn't happen in my day, and I'm just now, I won't say getting used to it, but I'm just now recognizing that, man, it's okay to play with your friends, I guess.
For Boston, they've gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. Here's Larkin, guarded by Harden. Allen, it's deflected. Black in the post. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 4 assists in the game.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantage they hold in this game.
Here's Larkin. He's covered by Brown. Clock at 6. And it's Houston on the break.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
I mean, look, I was going to say you're attacking on both ends, quickly going from defense to offense.
Boston's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. And there's the foul. It's going to go on Tarek Black. That's foul number 2 for him. And you look at the level of talent in the NBA now, some great players. But we've heard others say the league is watered down. How do you view that statement?
Well, I don't think you can compare eras. I think it's great to argue and have fun with them and debate them, but, you know, very sincerely, unless someone can play against each other, it's just a wasted argument. There's different eras, there's different rules. Think about how many threes Larry Bird shot per game. 1.5, 2. What if he could let it fly 10 times a game? We'd be talking about a different player there. So I think times, eras, the physical play of the 80s, of the 90s, I just know that players will handle it differently. Hand checking, the way that we call flagrant 1 fouls. It's a different league. And so I just choose to celebrate the players that we have now. They're the evolution in my mind. They're kind of the culmination of all the players that have come before them. So I just enjoy the game the way it is now.
Here's Ojale. Pass to Nader. Just 5 on the clock. Looking to end the drought. They get it again. Passes it to Rozier. Here's Ojale. Cans it from downtown.
Oh, and that's his second three-pointer this half. I mean, he's really cooking now.
The Rockets shooting a scorching 68% in the game. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here. And here are the Rockets now. Harden, no good.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
The best laid plans, right? Well, I tell you right there, though, that's one they'll take every single time.
Oh, that's blocked. Here's Williams, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
The Celtics making major strides offensively. Back in 2014, one of the worst teams in the league. They've gotten better every season.
Smart's checked in for the Celtics. And a switch here also for Houston. Nene's checked in.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
That's good from Williams. And the arrival of Al Horford surely has a lot to do with this Celtic offensive revival.
And now with Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and Tatum added, it'll get even better. At the same time, an unselfish style, sharing the basketball, a lot of drive and kick. They bury teams from the three-point line.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
So many fast breaks now ending the three-point shot. Good to see them taking it to the rack.
And the pass to Ojale. Again, the miss by the Celtics. And here are the Rockets now. Williams dishes to Harden. Good, great play by Williams to set it up. Harden's got 43 points.
Their entire offense has revolved around him today, and that's been the perfect game plan.
Down low. Pass to Rozier. Drops in the tray.
And they're just living beyond the arc here, really the entire fourth quarter.
And you have to like this. Why? Because it's helping them space the floor, which can create other opportunities.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. And for Houston, they're shooting a scorching 68% in the game. Here's Black. It's in, and he's a very efficient 5 for 6 on the game. Boston's gone 4-7 with the long ball here in the fourth quarter. Here's Rozier. He's covered by Brown. Here's Nader. The Rockets pull it in. Nene's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Jacks up a 3. Off the mark, only his second miss in 7 attempts. Knocked loose, taken away by Nene, and here's the fast break. And it's in, basket number 6 for him thus far. He has only missed 2 shots from the floor.
And aggressive defense causing the mistake, then cashing in.
What a beautiful steal off of great anticipation. His instincts right there were right on.
Here's Rozier. The shot from the low post is good. Rozier's got 5 points in the quarter.
Oh, look at the soft touch on the teardrop.
From deep, Harden. The shot, no good. And it's Boston the other way. 1:58 left in the fourth. Rozier kicks to Smart. And it's off from three-point range. Brown outside. Ojale grabs the rebound. Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, focus. Just make the simple play.
Good on the shot.
And he found the soft spot in the D on that possession.
Houston's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. And the shot goes down.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Rockets.
One area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition, and when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And so all the hard work here tonight converted into a tally in the win column. It'll be number 26 on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for James Harden.
He was too much for them to deal with tonight. Plain and simple, they tried all sorts of ways to contain him, and nothing worked.
Tremendous effort here on the road. That plane ride home is going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care how good you are. It's tough to succeed in a hostile environment. They're doing it in style.
And when you watch this Rockets team, you can see just how explosive they are on the offensive end. Almost everyone on the floor can hurt you from deep, and they all know their role and execute it to a T.
Timeout called, the Rockets. They're up. There's 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, your thoughts?
And guys, just avoid the unnecessary fouls here. That's about the only thing that can get them in trouble at this point.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
This was a big game for him. There's no denying that. Coming off a bunch of losses in a row, they turned to him to break the streak, and he delivered in a big way. And the Celtics making a change here. Brown's checked in, and a change for the Rockets. Onuaku's checked in. That one is off. And last season, the Rockets' offense was incredible. Then they go and add Chris Paul.
They can run a team off the floor if they get hot. Two great playmakers in Paul and Harden. And making a move for Paul made a lot of teams fear what the Rockets can do now on offense.
And he wanted all of those, trying to fight their way back into this.
The shot by Nene, no good.
The defense is doing just enough to bother him on the jumper.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Ojale. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
And you know what? If you're the defense, you got him right where you want him. Let him keep shooting those threes because he's been brutal in this half.
That was all about the assist. Great pass to set up the shot.
Here's Rozier. Brown inside. So we see Houston taking the W here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much with Chris Paul. Chris, a very convincing win, and that doesn't happen often in this league. So what do you take from this?
You know, one thing that our coaching staff keeps stressing to us every night is that it's about us. You know, so regardless of score, we got to continue to try to get better because we impose our will on the defensive end. The sky's the limit.
Well, the focus was there tonight, Chris. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.